Lowe's knows that more projects mean more tools. For a limited time, new and existing MyLowe's Rewards credit card members can get 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more, in-store and online. Don't wait to get the things you need. Get special financing today. Lowe's. We help. You save. Now through August 27th, choose 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more. Offer subject to credit approval and cannot be combined. Minimum monthly payments required. See store or Lowe's.com for details.
Alrighty, welcome back to another Wisco Fanatics Tuesday night. I am participating this week. 2 weeks ago, I had some family stuff that we were doing, so I am back this week, and now we are without Jake, at least temporarily. He's working through some computer issues, so if Jake gets in, we will bring him in as well. But today, we are going through our Green Bay Packers roster predictions, and we're going to bring in Jake. See if this works. Going through our Green Bay Packers roster predictions, as well as some X factors on both sides of the ball, and then if there's any other thoughts that we have on positional battles that we are watching as the Packers go into their final preseason game, we will discuss those as well. So we're going to hit the intro and start discussing the Packers.
Welcome to another episode of the Wisco Fanatics Show, where we cover the Packers, Bucks, Brewers, and Badgers basketball and football teams from an optimistic and realistic perspective.
Wisco Fanatics is brought to you by Cardboard Legacy, Wisconsin's most complete sports card shop. Buy, sell, grade, and consign all at their location in Oshkosh.
All right, so gotta say we're getting some good compliments on the new intro, which is awesome. So love that. So let's jump in, starting with the Green Bay Packers roster predictions, and we're going to start with the easy spot. We'll start with quarterback.
No, the easiest one is specialist.
I'm sure we all have Jordan Love and Malik Willis. Very interested to know what you guys think, if they keep more than that, or if they stick with two, and then if they stick with two, what else they do with the position.
Yeah, so I only have Malik Willis and Jordan Love making the roster. And then I think, honestly, I don't think Sean Clifford nor Elgersma has showed anything really consistent. So if one of them somehow gets claimed, I think they're fine with throwing the other one on the practice squad at this point. Also, I wouldn't be completely surprised if someone like a little surprising gets cut and we go in a complete different direction at number 3.
I personally have Elgersma as a practice squad quarterback. I think he showed at least a little bit more than Clifford as far as if we end up in a situation with two guys hurt, they're probably going to go sign somebody. But if you end up with a position where you have, you need an emergency quarterback, I think Elgersma showed a better talent level than Sean Clifford did.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you guys. I think from where Elgersma is versus where Sean Clifford should be, Elgersma has such an arm too. His arm looks so good compared, and I just think he beats out Clifford for the practice squad spot.
All right, so quarterback is easy. What about running back?
No, specialist is the next easiest.
Specialist is the next easiest?
Yeah.
Let's go with the offense first. All right, go to running back. Simon, you go first. Let me know what you're thinking about running back. Who makes it, who doesn't?
Okay, this was a difficult one for me. I have Josh Jacobs. I think Marshawn Lloyd will start on the PUP or the IR or whatever, and then it'll be Chris Brooks. And then when Marshawn Lloyd comes back, then your guess is honestly as good as mine. But that I right now, if Marshawn Lloyd was healthy, I'd have him and cut Brooks.
Really? You'd only carry 2 running backs?
No, 3. Josh Jacobs, obviously.
Josh Jacobs,
Marshawn Lloyd, and Emmanuel Wilson.
Okay, so
you have Wilson.
So you're saying you'd cut Wilson, or you'd cut Brooks over Wilson?
Yes.
Okay, I'm the exact opposite. I think because of Brooks' pass blocking ability and everything, I would. So right now on my initial 53, I have Josh Jacobs, Chris Brooks, and Emmanuel Wilson. We're really in kind of a, I agree with Simon. Now that the new rule is that running 2 players can go straight to IR and never have to go on the roster. So I think Marshawn Lloyd will likely be one of those. But I think, those on the initial 53, it'll be Jacobs, Brooks, and Wilson. But honestly, we're in like really good position for running backs. People forget that Emmanuel Wilson went for like 500 yards last year too, or something, 400 something yards. So, I mean, we're, yeah, we all want to see Marshawn Lloyd healthy because we've seen like a little flash of what he can do with the one jump cut in the hole and then, of course, the wheel route. But we're in a pretty good position as it is. But, until he gets back, I think it'll be those three. And then Simon's right to where, if Lloyd is out 4 weeks, it's going to be interesting to see what Chris Brooks versus Emmanuel Wilson does. And then do we carry 4 running backs at that point? Probably not. But that, you might look to trade one at that point because all of them are very good running backs.
I just think RB's hard to trade for. And then
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Amar Johnson? He's been playing pretty well too. I think we'll stash him on the practice squad.
Oh, for sure.
He's been playing extremely well. He looks good.
Stealing from us.
Yeah. I agree with Bryant as far as running backs are concerned. Right now, if I had to keep Emmanuel Wilson or Chris Brooks, it would be Chris Brooks, like Brian said, with the pass blocking. I think he's more valuable there. And on special teams, I think Chris Brooks offers some value. And then if you were, with Lloyd, I agree with both of you that he's going to start on the PUP or, the 6-week IR or whatever it is. If you were looking at Lloyd, Brooks, and Wilson and saying you have to keep 2, for me, it's Brooks and Lloyd. Is where I would lean. And if you can trade Emmanuel Wilson for a 6th round pick,
7th round even,
and send him to Washington so they have a backup. I know that they like their hyphenated last name guy, but I mean, they're looking to ship one out so they can.
That's wild. And Simon, that's a good point in Simon's direction right there. Because if Washington can get a trade partner for Brian Robinson, who's a very good running back, I doubt we'll find someone for Emmanuel Wilson. So that's a good point too. I can't believe that. I've seen reports yesterday that they might just cut him. I'm like, why would you do that? This dude's on his rookie contract and he's a very good running back. Like,
there has to be an underlying issue there.
That's thinking too. There's probably something they're not saying, or you know what I mean. So,
what about like Miami? Like Devon Achane's going to miss a little bit of time at the beginning of the year.
But then I could see Brian Robinson just going down to Miami.
Can give you some depth at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I mean, if we cut Emmanuel Wilson and they cut Brian Robinson, people are going to go for Brian Robinson before Emmanuel Wilson. Now, I will say I do think Emmanuel Wilson might be a more explosive runner than Brian Robinson.
Yeah,
I think so.
That's fair. Okay, Cody, we're going to get to defense after we do offense. Also, start Clifford. Yeah, I mean, he should have been starting his rookie year.
Where at Waterboy?
Bring back Bankert.
No, start him over Love. See what you got in Clifford. Okay. Let's go to tight end because tight end is going to be an easier one than wide receiver, I think. So let's go to tight end. Bryant, what are you thinking of the tight end position?
Yeah, I have us carrying 3, and I think that's going to be Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave, and I feel like Fitzpatrick pretty steadily has jumped Chris or Sims in that position. So I think we'll keep Kraft, Musgrave, and Fitzpatrick. And talking about Musgrave, he was making plays again in practice. I'm pretty excited about him if he can stay healthy. He's had like a really 2 good solid. Jesus. Cody's just here to troll. Musgrave's had a pretty solid last couple of weeks of camp. So,
Simon, what do you think about tight ends?
I got 4. I have us keeping Ben Sims, and then obviously John Fitzpatrick, and then Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave. This is the opposite for running backs. I only have us carrying 3, and then 4 tight ends.
Cody sent me a picture before of EA Sports talking about their top tight ends, and it has Tucker Kraft spelled with a C and not a K.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I lean to the 3 tight ends as well, just partially because I had to find room for all the guys that I want to keep on the defensive side of the ball. But I have Kraft, Musgrave, and Sims. Kraft, Musgrave, and Fitzpatrick would not shock me at all.
Yeah.
So do we get to carry an extra tight end in case of organ donation?
Yeah. Well, I wonder if Sims' blood type matches Tucker Kraft's.
All right. So, yes, we all love Tucker Kraft. He is a baller.
Yes,
I think he's going to get some recognition as possibly a top 10 tight end in the league this year. Okay. Moving on to wide receiver. I think we can all probably agree that Christian Watson is going to start on the PUP, probably miss the first 4 weeks.
Yep.
Beyond that, I can see an argument for anywhere from 5 to 7 wide receivers.
Yeah, same.
And personally, like I just said, I gave the kind of spoiler alert that I have so many guys that I wanted to keep on defense that I went with 5 wide receivers.
So you don't have him keeping Malik Heath?
Nope.
Okay.
And
that's
honestly,
my difference.
honestly, if you let him go, I don't see anybody claiming him.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah, same. I could see that.
I would, for wide receiver, I have Dobbs, Golden, Reed, Wicks, and Savion.
Yep. I have Malik Keith on mine.
Yeah, so actually, this one's number 6 is really tough for me. For me, I mean, I kind of point towards Malik Heath, but it's like we've also had it for like 3 years. We've kind of seen what he can do. He has had a couple nice games, but now you hear, he didn't perform well in the preseason games, and I mean, he did get pulled down the couple chances he had this last game, but he's been dropping balls even this last week. Couple times he had drops. So and people will be like, what? Because this person didn't perform super well either. But I kind of I have Hardman at 6 because I still think they want his punt return ability a little bit. And I'm a little surprised they haven't tried him at kick returner. But honestly, I wouldn't be completely shocked if we went away from Heath and Hardman and someone like Cornelius Johnson was a 6th. Or Julian Hicks.
I debated Hicks.
Yeah. And that's where I can start to stretch it to 7, depending on how many people start on the pub and IR, to where it's like they might, if they don't think Reed is ready. See, my thing is if they don't think Reed's going to be ready, I could see Hardman making it, because then they're going to use Matthew Golden in that slot, and then we need Hardman for the deep threat. So it really kind of depends on who's going to be healthy and where we're really at after this next week. The number 6 spot is really interesting to me.
Yeah, that's what Sam Isle just said. He's worried about the wide receiver injuries a little bit, which is fair. And that's where, like I'm saying, anywhere between 5 and 7 wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me if anybody of Malik Keith, Nicole Hardman, Hicks,
Johnson,
or Cornelius Johnson, that any of those guys make the roster. None of them would shock me in any capacity.
Yeah. Cornelius just looked like more like an
back.
NFL running or wide receiver to me in the preseason game. I get it, but like that snag he made over the middle to get that first down on 4th down, that was like NFL level.
Yeah, he looked good.
That's
he was killing.
Yeah,
he was killing it in OTAs too.
Yeah.
The thing with the 6th wide receiver that we've seen it come down to also is blocking. Special teams also looks
special teams.
Cody is in here just throwing out all the random stuff, saying to get Anthony Richardson.
Did he say anything about
Anthony Richardson next year? Give a 6th rounder for him, and then let Malik Willis walk and get a compensatory 6th.
Did you guys see that cut Dobbs post?
Oh,
that Dobbs might get cut.
Oh yeah, on Bleacher Report. That's just trash, man. I don't listen to that crap. That's
like
I would bet a lot of money right now that Dobbs does not get cut. Now, if you want to make an argument he gets traded, I could probably find the way to do that. Cut? No.
That wouldn't shock me as much as him being cut.
Has Cody mentioned Jared Abbrederis yet?
No, you beat him to it.
Jeff Janis.
While we're on the subject, I love Jeff Janis also.
Yeah.
He's probably not doing anything right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've gone through quarterback, running back,
here.
tight ends, and wide receivers so far. Let's talk about the offensive line. So Bryant and I were talking about this a little bit before the show started. He said he looked the last 2 years, the Packers have carried 10 and 11. Right now I have 8.
No.
And I understand that they're not going to keep 8 when it gets to the first week's roster, but in want to keep everybody else that I have 8 offensive linemen to claim, or to not have other guys claim, to keep other guys on the roster is what I was saying. So let's start with the offensive line. Let's just go through the top 6. We'll talk about some of the positional battles in a little bit, because we can still hash out one of these on the offensive line. I think is still up for grabs. So the top 6 is Rasheed Walker, Aaron Banks, Elton Jenkins, Sean Ryan, Zach Tom, and Jordan Morgan. Those are your top 6, whether it's Morgan or Walker, left tackle. We'll get to that in a little bit. So strictly from that, who else do you guys think makes the roster on the offensive line?
Did you mention Belton?
Well, Belton's number 7. Belton is
Belton would be number 7.
Yeah. He's like guaranteed to make the roster.
Even a lot because he's yes.
I would say Belton and probably Monk would be my locks to make the roster.
I don't even have. I don't know if Monk's.
I have Monk
Monk
on the practice squad.
Nope, I have him making it.
And then I have Glover on the roster.
Glover's on IR. He's in IR.
Okay.
Yeah, he got hurt, so that was the reason why I didn't have him. Yeah. He would have been on my roster if he didn't go season ending IR. I also had Canadian Telford, so I have us carrying 9.
And So okay,
And
so,
Kadeem Telford, I could see not making the roster like pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yep.
So another thing me and Cody were talking about before we started was I kind of agree with Cody to where I would say there's probably 8 people on our team right now that are probably deserving of a roster spot, but 100% the Packers will carry more. So I do still have them carrying 10. And where I have is I also kind of begrudgingly put Kadeem Telford on there just to get us that 10 number. But my 9th was actually Lacita Smith because just for help at center.
Yeah.
/ guard. I think he has a little more versatility. It sounds like he's looked decent since he came back to us. A little familiarity there because he was with us last year. So, because right now, Monk has really struggled.
Yep.
Glover's out. And right now,
Jennings looks bad.
If Jenkins was to go down, you'd either have to push Sean Ryan and completely shuffle the whole thing, or that's where you could plug in Lacita Smith if he's playing well enough. So
I had him on the practice squad.
Yeah. So
Zach, it's a lot of linemen, and that's the Packers. The Packers show no hesitation.
Yeah, the last 2 years it was 11 and 10. So
they don't mess around when it comes to their offensive line. We saw that with them drafting Jordan Morgan in the first round last year and drafting Anthony Belton in the second round this year. They don't.
I have a
play when it comes
feeling.
to offensive line.
Yeah, like I said, I have a feeling you'll see our initial 53, and immediately after that's announced at that 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock deadline or whatever, Goody's going to be cooking, and I think you're going to see a couple replacements by the next day.
Yeah,
I think so.
And offensive line could definitely be one of those places where it looks to upgrade the 8th, 9th, 10th offensive lineman. Okay, so on the special teams aspect of it, we have McManus, Whelan, and Orzik. All three of us have those 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Zach said I thought it was 8 to 9 every year. It's probably between 9 and 11, and then on game day it's probably more like 8.
Yeah, who are actually active. What they actually put on the
we
initial
move them around and we go
10
through a lot of them linemen, and that's true. And they cross train a lot of them. I think there's a case to be made that if Elton Jenkins goes down, that Zach Tom moves to center and you put Jordan Morgan at right tackle.
Yeah,
I think that's also
no. I think if that was to happen, I think would happen. Well, wait, who did you say goes down?
I said if Jenkins goes down, Tom goes to center and Morgan goes to right tackle.
I think if Jenkins goes down, it would pretty quickly be Sean Ryan to center and Morgan to the left or right guard.
See that too.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of combinations that I think
we're
gonna see this year for sure. Like last year, we had a lot of injury luck on the offensive line where we got to, and that was part of the problem in the Eagles game is once dudes started going down, like none of those guys had any game experience. Yeah. But I mean, we're gonna see it this year for sure. Yeah.
I think you could see they might do that thing where literally Morgan's rotating in with tackle and guard on different games. My concern is if Walker and Morgan are pretty much the same, like if you look at them at the same this year, you almost got to let Walker go and play because then you get the 3rd round pick because he's probably going to get a $18 to $20 million contract a year value after this season. Now, that's where it's like if you trust Morgan and you feel good about him already, that's where you're maybe calling up Cincy or someone and trying to find a trade partner.
Yep, I strongly agree on potentially trading Walker if you feel comfortable with Morgan at left tackle. Which, again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Switch to the defensive side of the ball. I had to scratch and claw to find a way to get down to 29 defensive guys. I could have easily had 33.
I'm interested to hear about the extra ones you have.
Yeah, because I don't think the Packers have ever done that, and I'm not 100% sure. So, I have 24 on the offense, 3 specialists, at least 26 on the defense.
That's what I have, exactly that number too.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see where he pulled the 7 because there are guys that I was like, dang, I would love to have him on the roster, but I just can't see it.
A lot of cornerbacks that I didn't like cutting.
Yeah, the cornerbacks. Yep.
Yeah.
So right now, starting on the D line, I have 4. I have Kenny Clark, Devontae Wyatt, Carl Brooks, and Warren Brinson.
I also have Nazir Stackhouse.
He's on my practice squad. I wanted so hard to find a spot for him, but I just couldn't.
My concern is that he would get claimed. So I actually carried 6, and to me, I still think Brinson and Stackhouse have a better chance to make it over Brooks and Wooden.
one of the reasons I put in Stackhouse is because Brenson's hurt right now, and he can line up in that nose tackle spot. And I also I don't have Wooden, but I think there's a possibility he could make the roster.
Yeah. Yep. Wooden was one of the guys I wanted to put on, and I just couldn't find a spot.
I couldn't find a spot.
I had to choose between Brooks and Wooden.
Yeah, so for me, I have Clark, Wyatt, Brinson, Stackhouse, Brooks, and Wooden all making it. And the reason I did that is because we are going to have, Watson and Oliver starting on the pub, likely, and then Lloyd and Sorrell starting on IR. So if people are wondering why we're not saying Sorrell, that's because he's probably going to start on IR.
Yeah. So that's where we go into the edge guys. And I have Gary, LVN, Mosby, and then I had Sorrell. I'm in a position where you're choosing between Cox and Mosby, and then the bubble guy that I have there is Enigbare.
I only included Enigbare barring Sorrell on IR. If Sorrell is like, he'll only miss like a week or two from the season, then I have Enigbare out. And it's not because I think he's like terrible. I think he's hit his peak, and the Packers don't want to pay his $3.4 million or whatever this year. For his roster bonus.
He hasn't shown as much growth as I would have liked to have seen, especially in the run game.
Yeah. It's almost like he looked almost the exact same as his rookie season.
Pretty much.
Yeah, this one's pretty...
Cody said Stackhouse is one of his favorites from the preseason so far.
And for me,
totally get it.
For me, it's almost like the Packers always have a UDFA on their roster, and for me, he was the most obvious one.
Yep.
So for edge, I did have 5 of them on there, and I think Enigbare makes it still. I think he showed a little bit of pass rush ability during the preseason. He's flashed a little bit during camp. There's validity in what Simon's saying 100% about the 3 whatever million, especially if they make a trade or a move. Like if Henderson was brought in, for sure that Engbari's gone because they need to free up any little bit of cap space they can. But Gary, I have Gary, LVN, Enigbare, Cox, and Mosby. If Sorrell was healthy, I would remove Mosby and put Sorrell there.
Yep. So. I'll say for the initial roster, I could absolutely take off Mosby or Cox to get a roster spot for Nazir Stackhouse. And then only having 2 on the initial 53, and then obviously adding different guys to the roster before week 1.
Yeah.
Okay, looking at linebackers, I have 4. I have Walker, Cooper, McDuffie, and Hopper.
Bro, all your numbers are in the secondary then.
Yeah, he must have.
Oh, man.
A lot of safeties and cornerbacks.
Wait, go back to your linebacker. Sorry, I was just thinking about your numbers. What did you say?
Walker, Cooper, McDuffie, and Hopper.
Really? I have Welch as well. And I actually included Simmons. I don't love the way he played, but I could see, I can already see it. What's his name? Special teams coach, assistant. Basasha, thank you. I could see him whispering in Matt LaFleur's ear, Gutekunst's ear, we got to keep this guy. Even though he offers he's looked terrible on defense this preseason.
Christian Welch has kind of been a stud on special teams as well. So
yeah,
originally I had Simmons on my roster. So I have Cooper, Quay, McDuffie, Hopper, who I'm kind of I think at first I was like, I wonder if Simmons could take McDuffie's spot, or I wonder if, whoever else could take McDuffie's spot. Now I'm starting to think it could be, Hopper. That's kind of looked pretty good. And
yeah, he's looked good.
Yeah. Could eventually start taking some of the snaps. For me, it really is between Simmons and Welch. The thing is that Welch is maybe a little more consistent with his floor, but for me, he's really kind of a lot like McDuffie, but he's really good on special teams as well. Where Simmons, that speed, maybe they do put the package in for him. So this one was tough for me. I did have Simmons originally, but I'm kind of swaying towards Welch now. But I think this game this weekend is going to be, I think both of them will.
We all know that owning a small business means you wear many hats, but sometimes you really need an extra pair of hands. Upwork is how good companies find great and trusted freelance talent. With more than 2 decades of experience, with the simple and ambitious goal of pioneering a better way of working, companies at every stage turn to Upwork to get things done done and find more flexibility in staffing key projects and initiatives. They access a global marketplace filled with top talent in IT, web dev, marketing, and more. Posting a job on Upwork is easy. With no cost to join, you can register, browse freelancer profiles, and get help drafting a job post or even book a consultation. From there, you connect with freelancers that get you and can easily hire them and take your business to the next level. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's Upwork.com to post your job for free and connect with top talent ready to help your business grow. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com.
Play a whole lot, and I think it's going to really kind of solidify what's going to happen there.
So,
and yeah, Zach, I like his speed as well, but if he's running in the wrong direction, it doesn't really matter how fast he is.
Right. And that's something we've had with Quay Walker, especially in his first 2 seasons. It did get better, which is good, obviously. Quay Walker got a lot better at being in the right spot at the right time versus being in the wrong spot at the right time. And I think that's where Simmons is at currently. He's in the wrong spot at the right time. We saw the really, really big check down that the Packers gave up to the Jets to the fullback.
Yeah.
Simmons being too far in the secondary. So linebackers, I agree with you guys. 5 of them, maybe 6, but probably 5. You guys want to do corners or safeties next?
I think safety is easier.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of debates in the cornerback room that you could have on that like 6th or 5th, 6th guy.
So I have 4 safeties: McKinney, Williams, Bullard, and Oladipo.
What'd you do? Keep 10 fucking cornerbacks?
Yeah, what the hell?
No, I just added wrong. So I added the special teams to my defense. So,
Oh, okay. That makes so much more sense.
yeah.
Okay.
So I have 26 defensive
Like he
guys.
kept every
Okay.
quarterback on the.
I was like, holy.
So yeah, I'd probably add an extra offensive lineman and an extra defensive lineman.
Yeah.
So makes it easy to put Stackhouse on there when I don't have
This dude's out here keeping Tyron Herring.
So yes, 4 safeties. I do have 5 corners, so we'll get to that. But
Okay.
4 safeties.
Okay.
All right. I have 5 safeties. I have us also
Who-
keeping Zane Anderson.
Yep. So who'd you say? McKinney, Williams, Bullard, Oladipo, and Anderson?
That's who I have.
Anderson is a bubble guy for me,
Yeah.
and also
He's
with his
a bubble guy for
like,
me
I don't
as
know how
well.
serious that is either.
Yeah, that's another specialty. Yeah, I hadn't seen much about his injury. It was another concern I had too.
I haven't seen really anything about it since he had it.
Mhm.
And with his age, he did play well when he stepped in last year. And but with his age, I could see him possibly going. So,
I would be fine risking him getting claimed, especially if he's injured. I don't really see it happening.
and going back to defensive line, I think the reason I kind of like getting like Stackhouse and Brinson and all them on there too is I do think there's a chance that Kenny Clark could be looking at one of his last years in Green Bay here pretty soon with his numbers and stuff next year. So that's why I kept 6 of them there.
Okay. Cornerbacks, also 6. Nixon, Hobbs, Valentine, Bo Melton, Micah Robinson, and Kalen King.
I barely left off King. I only have 5 cornerbacks.
He was the last one.
Honestly, it was between him and Simmons, and I could see it going either way.
Yeah. So I had the 5 as well. I had Nixon, Hobbs, Valentine, Bo Melton, and Micah Robinson. So I also was playing with the idea of potentially them keeping Valentine because he is a little more veteran. He played well for them last year in a pinch. But I feel like I know the Colts right after they got rid of Valentine, they ended up getting a cornerback injury, but they signed Gilmore or something. Who they signed? They signed someone.
No,
some other
old vet. I forget.
Yeah, but either way, they signed somebody. So I do think that there's potential they keep Valentine.
It was Xavier Howard.
Oh, Xavier Howard, that's right. So there's potential you could see Valentine sneak on here and maybe see like a Wood and Gone on mine or something, and maybe they carry 6 cornerbacks just see what they have. But yeah, that's where my numbers are at right now.
I'll say this on the subject of Valentine. He's one of those guys where if, say, Zane Anderson is only going to miss like a week or 2, that they keep Valentine, and if they needed extra depth at safety, they have Bullard play a little more safety instead of a little less, or in a little bit less of slot corner.
Yep.
And then you move Valentine into the cornerback room.
Because, I mean, Hobbs is still banged up, too. That's someone we're waiting to get back. And there are a lot of injuries right now. So
yeah. Cody made a good point. I think Green Bay looks to waivers after roster cuts for another corner.
100%.
Yeah.
Could absolutely.
There's going to be some changes for sure on this roster.
Like our roster predictions are basically based on what we have right now. It's going to change. And
I would be I'd be very happy if we got like 45 right.
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance we see 3 people pretty much immediately cut from the initial if the right players hit the free agency market.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing too is like I know we're really talking about like players that we try to sneak on the practice squad. Like no, not a lot of it doesn't happen often.
Yeah,
that guys that we cut get picked up. Like I think last year was Grant Dubose. He went to Miami. After like years before, I can't remember last time we lost a guy I really cared about.
Yeah,
through waivers. Like we ended up getting on, and practice squads are so big now that
Zach, the cut day is next Tuesday. That's why we're doing the predictions this Tuesday. Before we jump into X factors, I just want to go through. Is there any other positional battles that you guys are watching? I mean, the left tackle, unfortunately, due to Rasheed Walker's injury, hasn't really been a battle to watch. It's just been, do you think Morgan is good enough to start a left tackle with Rasheed Walker out?
I do, based on the 2 preseason games we've seen.
Yeah, he's been dominant in pass protection specifically.
Blocking snaps and zero
pressures. Yeah, he's been so good.
Yeah, he's been really good. Like I said, that 5th/6th cornerback is a really intriguing battle. The 5th inside linebacker, our linebacker is really intriguing, and the last wide receiver, what they're going to do there is really intriguing to me. People will talk about the Clifford Elgersma battle, but I don't think there's really anything there anyway. I don't think I'll be surprised if we hold 3 quarterbacks. I think we just look to get one of them back on the roster as an emergency. And then from there, I mean, I think stuff is the last pass rusher too, the last edge, whoever makes it over there is probably kind of interesting too. But other than that,
I'd be interested to see if Mosby or Cox can do enough to potentially pass up Enoch Barre.
Yeah. I think Cox looked really good last year, and I think he's more of just a gamer. It's like once you put it, he gets into that different mode mentality and that he wants to hurt people, and I think he just, his motor takes a different level when he gets on the actual field.
I will say, and again, this is camp speech, so we make fun of people when they do it to Caleb Williams and oh my God, how amazing JJ McCarthy looks. He looks like the most accurate quarterback they've ever seen.
Yeah, and then you scroll up one post and he's the worst quarterback they've ever seen.
Yeah. So I will take this with a grain of salt. I have heard nothing but like ecstatic things about Lucas Van Ness all the
time. Yeah, same.
Yeah. And again, I understand it's cap speech, but still, I'm very interested to see him get back on the field. I think he did some pretty good things last year.
I'll say I was a little discouraged by lack of success in the preseason game so far rushing the passer. But then you got to remember the second game, none of them played. And then the first game, they had very few snaps.
Yeah. So, Zach said, besides against LVN in practice, which isn't bad. That's,
talking about Morgan.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's just about it for positional battles. Let's talk about some X factors. Go to the offensive side of the ball. Simon, I'll let you go first. Who is your offensive X factor?
Okay, I wrote down 4 of them just in case we didn't have, or we kind of spread the love.
We're going to come back to Simon. Yeah. Brian, you can go first.
Okay, I have 2 of them that I think are really intriguing.
Yeah, we're going to go to me because I only have 1.
Okay, go to you first.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if either of you guys picked up. But mine, I put Savion Williams.
Nope.
Oh, nope.
I'm very interested to see what Matt LaFleur does with him. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten a ton about him because he's been dealing with some injuries as well. But he is a Swiss Army knife like Matt LaFleur has never had. We've talked about it since we've gotten to the point of, we talk about Tyler Ervin and the role that he used to play, about moving before the snap and being a guy who can be a rushing and a receiving threat. They messed around with it with a little bit with Jaden Reed of the rushing receiving aspect of it. But Savion Williams has, I would say, the most experience out of doing both out of any of the guys that Matt LaFleur has had in his offense. And then you add in the fact that he can throw the ball too. I don't think that they're going to run many, double pass type trick play type stuff, but I would bet a lot of money that the number is not 0.
Yeah.
So it might be 2, but I think the number is not 0.
I just need a Savion Williams to Matthew Golden touchdown.
I was just thinking the same thing, dude. That would, yeah.
I'd have to have on the white pants for that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian, give me your offense.
I'm sure I'll knock out at least maybe one, possibly 2 of Simon's. That's okay.
Probably.
2 more.
Yeah.
My first one is Tucker Kraft.
Nope.
Oh wow. So I think that you kind of touched on earlier, I think he has a chance to people recognizing him as a top 10 tight end. I honestly think there's a legitimate chance that Tucker Kraft could finish this season with the most catches for the Packers and high on targets as well. I know he blocked a lot, but I think he could finish somewhere with 65 to 70 catches on the season.
I think he has the most touchdown receptions.
Yeah.
This year from the Packers. I mean,
my projections, who I have the most receptions. Spoiler alert, I do have Tucker Kraft with the most touchdown receptions.
So,
yeah.
And
I'm
then
down for that. Cody said X factor is no running from shotgun on 4th and 1.
No jet sweeps from 4th and whatever.
No jet
Golly.
sweeps on 4th and 2.
So
running
then
out of the shotgun thing doesn't bother me as much as it does other people, but
yeah,
my second X factor is a lot of pressure for a rookie, but I think Matthew Golden has a potential to change his offense.
Yeah, that's what Zach said as well.
Yeah, if everything we've heard coming out of camp is accurate, which people don't typically. Another huge touchdown again today. Did you see that tweet though? I kind of
but he was cooking Keyshawn Nixon.
I don't like him responding to the tweet.
I love that.
And I think
it's hilarious.
I tried to click on your link again. I seen it earlier, and then I tried to click on your link. I think that's what you tried to us.
Yep.
And it was gone. So I wonder if he deleted it.
Oh, really?
Or it could have been just that my computer might have been acting funny.
Let me try.
This random reporter that I have never heard of.
Yeah, I didn't hear him.
Said that.
Yeah, they deleted it. Someone deleted it.
Being clamped by Keyshawn Nixon.
Yeah.
Who was not practicing today.
Yeah. He did practice today.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Nixon practiced today.
Somebody said Nixon wasn't even practicing today.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong then. I'm
pretty sure I have to look back
to the tweet where that Nixon wasn't even practicing.
Pretty
amazing reporting job.
Either way, him cooking him, I'm like, I wish Golden would have been like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Yeah, right, I'm cooking him. But it was great to see it, but it's also like, ooh, I'm sure
he's
Nixon's
a rookie.
Not thrilled about that.
But, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, but his route running, watching him gain separation from people and stuff, he could definitely. He'd be him and Tucker Kraft. I would not be shocked if Matthew Golden came in and led the Packers with receptions. We've seen several wide receivers the last several years before. Everyone's like, oh, wide receivers aren't that good. Well, guess what? The last several years, there's been several wide receivers to go for well over 1,000 yards as a rookie. So Matthew Golden, I think, has that potential this year.
I can't wait to talk about stat projections next week because you talk about wide receivers. Oh, man, I did some good work on what I did with Matthew Golden. Zach said the way he ran a slant against Sauce Gardner in the Jets game was all I needed to see. And I'll say this, as far as any preseason stuff that we saw with Jordan Love playing and camp stuff, Matthew Golden has been the most sure-handed out of the entire group.
I think I've only read about him dropping the ball once.
I think once.
They said that I've heard 2 of them, but one was people are saying it was pretty much out of reach. That one tipped off his fingertips and was intercepted. Mm-hmm. And then they said the one that was a drop was throwing down at his knees, but they're so used to him. He had been making all those catches that they said it was a drop. As for the slant against Sauce Gardner on that catch, great. And don't forget that he also drew a penalty against Sauce Gardner too.
Yep. All right, Simon, who you got for an offensive X factor?
Okay, I had Golden. I also have, I think I have Jordan Morgan. I think they find a way to put him on the starting 5, whether it's at left tackle or at right guard. I think he's one of our top 5. I have Elton Jenkins just for the sheer fact that he's taken over the center job this year.
That's a sneaky good one, Simon, because how much issues have we had at center in the last several years?
Yep.
So no, that's a good.
I think with the full off season of him playing center, not including his like holdout or whatever. I think he's going to be a strong X factor for Packers offensive success. And lastly, I have Luke Musgrave, especially in the early part of the season. If we're talking about the Packers wide receivers being sort of beat up, I could see us running a lot of 21 personnel, and that includes Luke Musgrave being the big, fast tight end that can kind of play a pseudo wide receiver role in this offense. And him being fully healthy going into the season, I can see him being a big part of this offense as well.
Yeah, Luke Musgrave was the backup one that I was going to throw out there. So
that's a really good one too.
Yeah, and Jordan Morgan, I love that one also. It's really one of those things where I said this, I posted it everywhere that I could last year when the pick was made. I'm like, it's not a sexy pick, but it is such a necessary one when you're talking about the future of Jordan Love, especially seeing him banged up last year.
Yep.
That's why they invested in Jordan Morgan last year. It's why they invested in Aaron Banks this year. It's why they
and
invested
Anthony
in
Belton
in the draft. They're going to keep investing in protecting Jordan Love.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, too, if Jordan Morgan becomes a starting caliber top 15 left tackle in the league, all the people are crying about Cooper DeJean can kick rocks. I don't care if Cooper DeJean's top 10 cornerback. A lot of teams are going to take the left tackle before the cornerback.
A slot cornerback at that.
Yeah. So
I would argue that outside quarterback, that left tackle is the most important position to fill on your offense.
Yep.
As long as your quarterback is right-handed.
Well, hopefully our one tight end doesn't kill anyone.
I don't know. Anthony Richardson proved that. That doesn't matter.
I guess we'll see what Michael Penix does this year.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. And Simon, you can go first for defense.
We could be like the Patriots used to with Hernandez and Gronk. That'd be so sick. I would love that. No, I still also have 4. So why don't you guys go ahead?
Okay,
I
give
have 2.
one of them.
Yeah, let's go with the one. Same order. It's fine.
All right. Mine, I have Javon Bullard.
I also have him.
His playing time might be a little bit more limited with the emergence of Evan Williams at safety and the addition of Nate Hobbs. We'll see. I'll be watching to see if Javon Bullard can be efficient with his playing time. I'm not expecting him to have like 3 interceptions while playing like 65% of snaps every game. But if he can just be, like I said, efficient by obviously not letting opposing quarterbacks be efficient is what I'll be looking for from Javon Bullard. Also, we talked about it a little bit in the roster prediction aspect of it. If we are without Zane Anderson to begin the season, Javon Bullard may be rotating a little bit more in at safety and then keeping an extra cornerback. That back and forth of Javon Bullard and seeing if he is more versatile to play both this year and, like I said, ideally be efficient in both is what makes Javon Bullard an X factor for me. Cody said Cooper's health. I mean, haven't heard anything of any worries about
Yeah, I haven't.
Edgerrin Cooper's health.
No, he practiced today too. He had a good rush on Jack Tom.
Yeah. Bryant, who do you have for defense?
I think he was just overall generally saying Cooper's health is an X factor.
Yeah. Right.
Like him staying healthy.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I'll keep on basically what Cody said was mine is Edge Cooper. I do think that this dude could have an all-pro type season. He might not get all-pro because people are kind of still learning who he is. But don't be surprised if he ends the season with high single-digit sacks, throwing a couple picks, a couple forced fumbles, probably double-digit tackles for losses. If he stays healthy all year, he can take that middle of that defense. He does take the middle of the defense to another level that we haven't seen in many years. So that was my first one. My second one is Lucas Van Ness. I think if he takes a step and he's able to take some pressure off for Rashawn Gary, we might finally see one of these dudes go for double-digit sacks. Or, we don't necessarily need that. If Edge Cooper ends up with 8 and LVN 7 and Rashawn 9 again, I mean, that's production. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll take that.
So, yeah.
I'd be happy with that. Absolutely.
But, I think Lucas Van Ness and Edge Cooper's emergence will be huge for this team.
Yeah. Wouldn't, like you said, wouldn't shock you if he had like an all-pro level season. Wouldn't shock me if, they haven't extended Quay Walker's contract. They're kind of letting that one play out. Makes me wonder what Goody thinks of the 2026 linebacker class. Also,
Or Hopper. What do you think of Hopper?
Or Hopper. And obviously they signed McDuffie for 3 years. So, there's options there, and it wouldn't at all rule out Quay Walker ending up with a new contract in Green Bay. Just probably not for that $16 million option that he would have gotten as an extension of his rookie contract.
Yeah, no chance. And that's because they include him in like outside linebacker pay, and that's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Zach said Van Ness, Nixon, Hobbs for me. Kenny Clark has a healthy season. Simon, who do you have for defensive X factors?
You guys kind of hit on 3. I also had Javon Buller, LVN, and Edge Cooper. I also had Nate Hobbs. I think obviously all the outrage or whatever from Packers fans about Jair Alexander getting released and going over to the Ravens. I think he's just going to be a big part of what this defense needs. And he also needs to stay healthy. I know he's been banged up a little bit the last few years. And I think that's why Green Bay gave him the contract that they did. Was his guarantees are they're not that high. I don't even remember what it was, but he has like a $65 million contract. I think like 20 something of it is guaranteed. I have to go back and look, but he needs to stay healthy as well. But we're going to need a big season from him, considering what people think of our cornerback room.
And Alexander,
Yeah, I saw that.
Not that I don't want Alexander to succeed, but he's not even practicing. And basically saying, I'm dealing with the things I've dealt with the last 2 years. Well,
so I pulled up Nate Hobbs' contract. He signed a 4-year, $48 million.
Oh,
and only 16 is guaranteed.
that's right. Sorry. Bank's contract was in the 60s, I think.
Yeah.
70 something.
Yeah, sorry. I'm getting them mixed up. But yeah, so what? 16 mil guaranteed? Like that's not much.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, that's a low guarantee for a starting corner in the league. So we'll take that.
Yeah, 100%. Like
it's a $12 million dead cap hit if they release him in 2026. So they could release him as early as next year.
Yeah,
with only a $12 million cap hit.
Yeah.
So pretty savvy contract there by Gutekunst, to be honest with you.
And to get him to sign for 4 years is good too. A lot of people are only signing 3-year contracts.
Right.
And that's what Green Bay does. That's what Green Bay does, though.
One of the best slot corners available on the market.
Yeah, that's what Green Bay does, though. They give guys 4-year contracts instead of 3. Yeah. It's different.
And bring the guarantees down a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So was there anybody else you wanted to throw out there on the defensive side of the ball? I know you mentioned all the other 3 guys and then Hobbs.
No, that was what I had. Those 4. I was interested to see
what he saw from Hopper more than what he saw from Simmons.
Same.
Yeah, I don't hate that take, and I honestly, even if Simmons doesn't end up making the roster, I don't fault the Packers for bringing him in.
Yep.
I mean, you take a shot on a former top 5 pick, never going to be like, oh no, that's a terrible decision. Like obviously it was top 5 pick for a reason. I don't fault anybody for bringing him in and trying to find out what that reason was and seeing if you can get that out of him.
His contract wasn't shit either.
Yeah, I think it goes without saying, too, that, like, obviously we know that Xavier McKinney is going to be an X factor. We were talking, we're kind of looking at more players that could maybe step up and kind of take us to that next level. So,
yeah. So, that said, next week we will have bold predictions and our stat projections. So that's going to be very interesting to see what we do with that. The following week is going to be our week 1 preview, as well as our regular season record predictions from the head and the heart, and our schedule review and our NFC North review. And all of that, we will be joined by Mike Spofford, the editor of Packers.com. So we're very excited to have Mike back. We've had Mike on a handful of times through the last 2 seasons, and it's always great to get his insight. Matt, Mike knows ball more than any of us could have. Mike's been doing it for a really long time. He always brings in great insight, that stuff that we would never have thought about. And obviously being close to the team, you get that. But very excited to have Mike back in 2 weeks. And next week, I'm excited to do our stat projections and our bold predictions. Those are always fun as well. So thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. Simon and Bryant, I will see you guys next week.
For sure.
sounds good.
Go Pack.
Lowe's knows that more projects mean more tools. For a limited time, new and existing MyLowe's Rewards credit card members can get 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more, in-store and online. Don't wait to get the things you need. Get special financing today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Now through August 27th. Choose 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more. Offer subject to credit approval and cannot be combined. Minimum monthly payments required. See store or Lowe's.com for details.